There is no place like home. Welcome to Bishkek. It raises few eyebrows when people hear that this is where we live. And we've been living here for about a year now. And in this video we would like to share with you why we think this is the best place in the world and what life is like here in Bishkek, the capital of Kyrgyzstan.
Kyrgyzstan is actually one of the only post-Soviet states where you can still see Vladimir Ilyich Lenin standing loud and proud and looking over his people. That's not the reason we decided to move here, and why we did decide to move here we'll get into in this video as we go on. But right now we're going to head through the centre and to the main square, and while we're on the way there, let's hit you with a few little facts about Kyrgyzstan. Bishkek is the capital of Kyrgyzstan, a small nation in the middle of Central Asia with a population of just 7 million people. Bishkek itself has a population of about 1.3 million and is populated mainly by ethnic Kyrgyz, who are historically a nomadic people that used to live out on the steppes and the mountains of Central Asia in yurts, living off the land and moving with their livestock, depending on the season, to different parts of the country. These days, Kyrgyzstan is a post-Soviet state that's highly urbanized, and there's actually two official languages here in the country. The first one is Kyrgyz, which is a Turkic language similar to Uzbek, similar to Kazakh, and the other languages of Central Asia, as well as Turkish itself. And the second official language here is Russian. Bishkek itself, you hear both languages on the streets. You more often than not, I would say, hear Russian. And almost everyone in this country is actually bilingual, which is really, really interesting. The city itself was built in a very Soviet style. There's big wide avenues going up and down the city. It's built in a grid system, and to the south of the city are the imposing, beautiful Tian Shan Mountains, which just rise out of nowhere. Where the city finishes, the mountains rise up, and it's absolutely gorgeous. It gives an amazing backdrop to this city, and it's actually a view that we have from our apartment building, which is incredible. There's so many reasons to love Bishkek, but one of them, as we come into the main square here, is if you're a lover of Soviet architecture, then here in the centre you're going to be spoiled for choice. Take a look at this.
This is Archa Square, and it's incredibly Soviet. And actually, Lenin used to stand right here, and then after the fall of the Soviet Union, he was moved behind that building over there where we just were. And actually, this is a statue of Manas, a famous Kyrgyz warrior. The statue was actually rebuilt over the last few months. We were watching it rising over the winter months. And right here in the square, we are right in the center of the city. You can see the mountains just peeking through the buildings. To me, it's just incredible having the opportunity to see mountains like that straight from the city center, and the beautiful looking city. Look at that, wide roads, gorgeous architecture, lots of greenery there as well.
The pinnacle of Soviet city planning, the pinnacle.
Absolutely. And look at that gorgeous flag.
What we really love about Bishkek is it's such a melting pot of cultures. This was once a stop on the old Silk Road, and nowhere can you see all of those influences in one place more than in Osh Bazaar, where we're heading now. And we're capturing everything today thanks to a new camera that we're trying, the Insta360 Go Ultra. Let's head into the bazaar. The old bread.
Здравствуйте.
Здрасте.
Пахнет очень вкусно.
Пойдем дальше.
Да, пойдем малину искать.
What's fascinating here in Bishkek is you can get so many different worlds and generations in one city. So the main centre of the city is very Soviet looking and feeling, But here in Osh Bazaar, you're transported right back into rural Central Asia. Really, really cool. And then you've got the modern part of the city, which we'll show you later as well. When it comes to this camera, the biggest USP for us is its sleek and compact design. It's a little square powerhouse at only 53 grams without the pod, so it literally fits anywhere in our pocket. With the magnetic design, we can mount it pretty much anywhere, which makes it perfect for those POV shots.
I think the best thing about this camera is that it's just clipped to Matt's chest, so it doesn't attract any attention at all.
And when we want smooth action shots, like when we're zooming around the city in a taxi, for example, we usually just switch it to 4K 60, and the flow state stabilization and horizon lock keep everything buttery smooth, no matter how bumpy the ride gets on the old Bishkek roads. Здрасте.
Можно, пожалуйста, одну клубнику и 2 малины?
Мне очень нравится ваша футболка. Как флаг.
Где купили?
А это не купится.
Не купите?
А это как сборная Кыргызстана.
Спасибо. Сборная Кыргызстана. Класс.
Спортсмен байки.
Спасибо большое.
Спасибо, до свидания.
Все хорошо. Ой.
As we've experienced before, low light is usually where tiny cameras struggle, but actually this, with its large 1/1.28 inch sensor and pure video mode, the Go Ultra actually handles the night scenes beautifully. Replaceable SD storage means we never have to worry about running out of space, and the 200-minute runtime is perfect when we're exploring things like the market. Quite honestly, 200 minutes can keep you going most of the day. Also, we were surprised to discover it's actually waterproof up to 10 meters, which means when we head up to the mountains later in this video, we can take it for a dip in the river with us. If you're looking for a lightweight travel camera that can literally go anywhere with you, the Insta360 Go Ultra is a camera we definitely recommend. Check out the link in the description box below, and if you're watching this on TV, you can scan the QR code with your phone's camera to check out the Insta360 Go Ultra. Здрасте. Самси, у вас с чем? Можно одну, пожалуйста?
Курочка. Это просто.
Спасибо. Так, возьмите 210. Спасибо вам большое. Хорошего дня. О, самса.
Amazing.
So this is samsa. You may have heard the word samosa before from the Indian subcontinent, and samsa is basically very similar to that. It's a meat-filled bun, and the name has obviously been passed down the Silk Road. So here in Central Asia, it's called samsa. Let's go and find a quieter spot and dig in. So good.
Да. Это хорошо. Можно так рецепт все. Я на зиму все хочу наморозить, чтобы было витамины, все это было свое уже. Спасибо большое.
Все, спасибо большое. До свидания.
You know what I find really weird and a bit, I don't know, awkward? When every single tourist that come into Kyrgyzstan start wearing these national hats. Like, you know, this tourist little weirdo trying to appropriate the local culture. It's a bit, I don't know, a bit cringe. Здравствуйте, можно стаканчик Максим, пожалуйста? Спасибо большое. I think we need to quickly pop home because I accidentally bought too much. This was not the plan. Oh well, you knew it's gonna happen.
Well, that was one hell of a grocery haul. And we're going to need to make a trip home now. Freezing it all for the winter, right? That's the plan?
Absolutely. Got my berries.
Nice. Let's go home. Actually, since the breakup of the USSR, Kyrgyzstan has been through some tumultuous times, to say the least. The economy right now is improving a lot, and we'll get into why that is and a bit more about that later in the video. Now, all the way across the square, especially on these hot summer days, you see the fountains running, your little waterfalls. It's gorgeous. And the improvements, as Julia said, to the statue, that's all only come in the last couple of years. There's also a lot of building work going on around the city right now, and a lot of apartments and business buildings going up. There's actually a whole new neighborhood going into the south of the city, which is called the Upper City, closer to the mountains that we're going to go to later. But for now, let's take a walk through the main streets and show you some more of this Soviet center of Bishkek.
I would love to do this right now.
One thing that we've always loved about Kyrgyzstan and Central Asia more generally is just what a crossroads of cultures it is. Just over the Tian Shan mountains in front of us is Xinjiang, China. And here in Kyrgyzstan, you have a Turkic culture, a nomadic culture, but you also have a real European culture as well. Because of the history of the Russian Empire and then the USSR, there's a lot of ethnic Russians that live here in Kyrgyzstan as well, and especially here in Bishkek. And that balance and morphing of cultures makes this whole region absolutely fascinating. We love that about Tashkent, about Almaty that's just up the road in Kazakhstan, and here in Bishkek. Kyrgyz people are majority Muslim, and the ethnic Russians and Europeans of the city are ethnically Christian. And what we love most about this place is that everyone here seems to live in harmony with that and embrace each other's cultures. Central Asians in general are incredibly friendly people, and there isn't one country in Central Asia where we haven't felt welcomed. But here in Kyrgyzstan, I don't know what it is. As soon as we came here the first time in 2022, and then when we moved here eventually as well, we've just felt welcome from day one. We've heard so many times, like, from people, from locals, we hope you feel at home here. What can we do to make you feel at home here? And that's just incredible, to be honest.
Здравствуйте. Можно стол на двоих, пожалуйста? Спасибо большое.
Спасибо.
Спасибо большое. Спасибо большое. Можно, пожалуйста, попросить сразу большую бутылку воды простой?
Хорошо.
Без газа. Спасибо большое. So there are lots of different cafes here in Bishkek, like European style, where you can get, you know, your typical pastas and eggs Benedict, yeah, and eggs and avocado on toast. There are also lots of staloves, like canteen places, but we like to treat ourselves to a local chaykhana because we really love local food. Спасибо большое. We come here and get our favorite bowl of plov. Because why would I cook it here when they can make it better than me? Thank you. Actually, it's still quite hot. Apparently this is the last week of heat, and then the temperature is going to drop down quite drastically. And that's what it's like here in Central Asia. There is no sort of shoulder season. The weather changes literally overnight. The same going from spring into summer, it gets hot overnight, and I'm just waiting until it gets cold I'm still waiting to wake up and feel the breeze. Actually, the summer hasn't been that bad. It's been about 36 at the most, which is still hideous, but I expected it, I was scared for it to be around 50. So it hasn't been that bad, thankfully. Like Tashkent, like Uzbekistan would be worse for that. Let's see what we have here. Loads of different salads. Soups. Борщ. Meatball soup, solyanka, mushroom soup, cheese soup. Loads of different soups. And mains. Goulash. Plov, kurdak, these are local dishes. Yeah, this is a local place. There will be mainly local dishes. Like Jojo kurdak, жаровня с овощами, lagman. They make really delicious kebabs here. And your drinks. Coffees, lemonade, teas, milkshakes, smoothies. Cool.
So despite this part of the world being mainly Muslim, many people here still drink. Because of the Soviet history and prior to that the Russian Empire, alcohol is still found in pretty much everywhere, all around the city. Here in the chaihanas you won't find it, but like in all the bars and cafes and normal restaurants, European style, there's beer and wine and everything you want. So it's a real balance, and that's why I say when we mention it's a crossroads of civilizations and cultures. That's what we love about it. Fascinating.
Можно, пожалуйста, 2 ташкентских плова? И можно салат с помидорами и луком? Да. Мы уже заказали, спасибо большое.
You know, it feels weird filming here in Bishkek. We've been here since the back end of last year, and usually we go off elsewhere and film like adventures, like we just come back from Chechnya and Dagestan and doing the hitchhiking across the North Caucasus. Before that we went to Afghanistan and Pakistan to do an adventure and then came home. And every time we come home, and this is kind of like our place to relax and switch off from filming, catch up with editing and stuff. So it feels really bizarre filming here. It's nice to show you where we live. We've been to this Chaikhana like lots of times now. We've never filmed here, so walking in with the camera is bizarre, really unnatural. Bishkek's become our home, and for that reason it's become a place where we usually don't film.
It's interesting you say that, because I was thinking exact same thing. All the time been walking here, filming.
It's like
Feels strange.
Спасибо большое.
Спасибо большое.
Вот это да.
The sex. Где самый вкусный плов в мире?
Честно, Узбекистан.
Узбекистан или Афганистан?
Узбекистан. Мне больше нравится узбекский. В Афганистане он интересный был. Другой, Кабул и Калам. Но Uzbekistan, не знаю, он слаще. These aren't the normal types of videos that we film on this channel. Usually now we want to do bigger adventures here and big long trips, whether they're overland trips or trips into the depths of Russia. But we've just actually created a second channel, and on that channel we're going to be doing a lot more videos like this, a lot more like daily vlogs, sharing the places that we're traveling to. And we're actually about to leave Kyrgyzstan next week. We're going on a trip overland into China, into Xinjiang, and then we're going to be running a tour in China through our company Humankind Expeditions, which, if you haven't seen, is always linked in the description. we're running a trip to China, and then from China we're flying to Uzbekistan where we're running a trip as well. In between that, we're going to be filming lots of content for the first channel, but also the second channel, showing you what the trips, what the tours are like, and also the bits in between. So if that's something you're interested in and you want to see more of the daily life and what it's like on the road when you're not doing these big trips, then subscribe to the second channel. It's linked also down below in the description and in the top comment as well. There'll be lots of plov on the second channel.
We're going to China.
Where are we going?
Trip to China. I can't do it. But you got what I mean.
Smashed it.
I hope.
Smashed it.
You know what I mean.
Спасибо большое. Спасибо, до свидания, хорошего дня. Так, пойдем сюда.
Пойдем.
So lunch came to around 1,200 som, which is the local currency here in Kyrgyzstan, and that's around, let's say, $12, £9–10 for 2 bowls of plov, 2 bottles of water, and a tomato and onion salad.
And a nice latte you had.
Oh, and a nice latte, yeah. How could I forget that? One negative about the city here is the way it was built, or when it was built. It was certainly built for a lot less cars than there are on the roads right now. The traffic here in Bishkek, especially around peak hours, can get really, really bad. There's not much other public transport other than buses or taxis, which are really affordable actually. But yeah, that means there's a lot of cars on the road, a lot of traffic, and unlike other Soviet cities that usually have trams, a lot of Soviet cities with a population of more than 1 million also have metro systems. Neighbouring Almaty and Tashkent have metros. Here in Bishkek there isn't one, which is a shame, and the traffic can be a bit of a problem.
Bless you.
Будь здоров.
Residential Soviet buildings look the same throughout post-Soviet Union countries, no matter on the city or the country really. However, some of them have their own little quirks. They may have beautiful mosaics on them, or in Armenia, for example, they're built out of red stone. But look at this building. I think this is my favorite building in Bishkek. This is your standard Brezhnevka, by the way. But look how quirky and beautiful it is. Can you see each window looks like a yacht?
Obviously, since starting making videos here on YouTube, we've travelled full time for 3 years, and then we tried living in Bangkok and also in Istanbul, and now Bishkek. This is the third place, and this is definitely the place we feel most at home out of any. With every place we chose prior to that, it was all about it being a hub and being easy to travel to and from. And although Bangkok and Istanbul are very easy to travel to and from, it just didn't suit the way that we wanted to live and where we wanted to be. However, here in Bishkek, obviously Julia being from Russia and us traveling a lot in the former Soviet Union, it feels very familiar. It feels like home from home. And that's one of the main reasons we chose to live in this part of the world. We love Central Asia in general, and the most of the filming that we do and the places we travel are generally either to Russia, which is 2 hours north from here to get to Novosibirsk, or Central Asia, this area, also China, which is next door. And for all of that, Kyrgyzstan's just absolutely central, which is amazing. So we've come across town, and we've come up to the southern part of town, or what's also known as the upper part of town, because we're closer to the mountains at the moment. And this part of town is kind of new. There's a lot of building work going on. Behind us is a massive shopping centre, and we're going to take a walk up this street and show you what the new face of Bishkek looks like. It's very different to the central areas, although there's a lot of building work there too. This area is like an entire new region. And one thing you notice straight away is the lamp posts here. To most people this is probably very boring, but for me it's interesting, are the same as the ones that you find all over China. In Chongqing, Beijing, Kunming, and a lot of the building work here isn't done by China, but perhaps the lighting system is delivered by China. Interesting, I only just noticed that first time.
We actually don't come here often because I prefer our part of the city. It's cozier, I don't know, it's just comfortable. We have everything we need there and it's really nice to walk around there. But apparently the air quality is much better here, and let's cut the crap out. It's not all roses and rainbows. One big downside about living here is the air quality, especially especially in the winter. I'll put some pictures in the winter, maybe on Instagram or something, to show you. And the smog is really bad. That's the biggest, I'd say, downside. And some people say that the air quality is improving, others say other way around. That it's actually getting worse. We haven't been here long enough to judge, but yeah, that's one of the biggest downsides of living here in Bishkek.
But it definitely seems that one of the main reasons this upper city is more popular is for that reason. There's all of the Soviet old factories are down in the lower part of the city, down near the centre, and up here you're a lot closer to the mountains and the air quality is that bit better. In the summer it's fine, by the way, isn't it? It's usually the winter, isn't it, where the air quality is bad.
Because I guess at the bottom as well we're kind of trapped.
Yeah.
And the wind doesn't circulate at all, so everything just sort of sits there.
Exactly, yeah.
All the traffic fumes and factories, and people start warming their houses up. And as Matt said, like, the economical situation in Kyrgyzstan is improving, but still, after Tajikistan, it's the poorest post-Soviet Union country. And for that reason, people still heat their houses up with coal or whatever they can really find, whatever they can afford, you know.
So as we're walking towards the new part of the city, and before we show you some of these new developments that are going up, let's continue about the economic situation, because as Julia said, things are changing here fast. Kyrgyzstan's actually one of the fastest growing economies at the moment in Asia. There's a massive boom, and it's not just a building boom. There's lots of international brands coming into Kyrgyzstan, a lot of outward investment. There's many reasons for that. One of them is that since the fall of the USSR, there's been a very small number of people that have made a lot of money, whereas average local wages have stayed suppressed, which is a common story throughout the former USSR. Another reason, which is fascinating, is the impact of the sanctions on Russia. Kyrgyzstan has a very close trading relationship with Russia. Actually, around 30% of the Kyrgyz economy comes from people from Kyrgyzstan, Kyrgyz people going to Russia to work, earn money, and then sending home from remittances. And since the onset of sanctions in 2022, a lot of international trade with Russia has been stopped officially. Now, I saw a fascinating graphic yesterday, which I'll try and put on screen, of the difference in trade between certain EU countries and Kyrgyzstan. And you can see 2022, things skyrocket. And that's a common story with lots of, especially Western countries that have heavily sanctioned Russia. The secondary economy here in Kyrgyzstan has blown up. So a lot of imports from neighbouring China come to Kyrgyzstan first, for instance cars, and then go on to Russia. And vice versa, a lot of international brands from Europe and the West more generally come to Kyrgyzstan first, as well as some other Central Asian countries, and then head into Russia. And that's had a really positive effect on the economy here, and therefore the standard of living of average people. It's a really fascinating situation that's going on here. Amazing to see Kyrgyzstan changed before our eyes.
I'm telling you, it's the next Bali. I'm calling it.
You could have called it the next Dubai. It's the next Bali.
Oh yeah, that's probably more. No.
I'm sure that's what they wanted.
Yeah.
The next Bali.
Okay, I changed that. It's the next Dubai. I'm calling it.
We said it first. Remember that.
Just not as soulless, you know. Better version of it.
So this is the newer part of the city. There's cranes everywhere, and this building in particular we wanted to show you because this is interesting. This building's going to be a housing complex, but along with that there's also going to be like a gym in there, pool facilities, office facilities, conference rooms. This is like a full condominium complex, and there's a few of these sprouting up all over the top of Bishkek here, which is really, really fascinating. This is like something that you're used to seeing in Southeast Asia, you know, these types of buildings, not in post-Soviet countries. Really, really interesting to see this area once it's done. There's still a lot of building work going on, but it's changing quick, right? Last time we were here, this road wasn't even open.
You're getting your hair done around here, right?
Yes, yeah.
So yeah, we see this area change quite a lot.
Yeah.
I think it'll be a lot better once everything is completed, because now there is just a lot of building work
Yeah.
all around.
Yeah.
As we are already in the upper part of the city, we can smell the mountains from here. So the only way from here is up. Let's order Yandex and head into the mountains. Здравствуйте. Ой.
Здравствуйте.
До свидания, всего хорошего.
Спасибо, хорошего дня. До свидания. So that taxi ride cost us about 800 som from the top part of the city, and from the very centre it would have been about 1,000. And we've made it to Archa National Park. Incredible that just outside the city, literally half an hour's drive, you're here in Archa National Park. In the winter this is all in snow. We're in the middle of August at the moment, so obviously it's a little bit different, but it's so gorgeous, and the air up here is so fresh. It's about 6 degrees, 7 degrees cooler than down in the city. Beautiful mountain river. Gorgeous.
They're currently building a cable car over there, which will take you right up into the mountains. And all the way from the start of this hiking trail, there is a pathway is being built. I guess they're gonna continue on here. And interestingly, cars are not allowed to drive around this national park, only electric buses. So we were dropped at the beginning of the trail and then got an electric bus to take us a little further to start the walk. It's so beautiful and peaceful here. I think my lungs are very confused right now as to what is happening, because I don't remember breathing in the air so clean.
Certainly not in the city of Bishkek. Crazy the difference.
Another thing we really like about Bishkek is that it's safe. It makes a big difference compared to... Don't want to bash the UK down because it seems like it's becoming a sort of a trend now. But however, it is the case. We lived there for a very long time and it was quite unsafe, especially in the city just outside London where we live. But here, kids are out in the streets playing around until really late, like 11, after midnight, especially during the school holidays. That makes a really nice change. And if you would like to see more of our life and life in Bishkek in general, and more of the things that don't quite make it to our main videos, I suggest you subscribe to our second channel.